And after the Chargers' successful week 1 that I recently talked about last week, I want to go through some of the things that did come up during the week prior to this week 2 matchup versus the Panthers. So it looked like when it came to Poona Ford, he was the highest graded interior defensive lineman week 1. It was like number 3 overall, which is cool. Then PFF also had a highest graded defenders in week 1, and Joey Bosa was on that list at number 9 overall. They also did a top 10 rookies for week 1, and Joe Alt, the offensive lineman, was number 9. Even Kalen Bullock of USC, the safety, was number 10. And there was also a top 5 rushing leaders week 1. Looked like J.K. Dobbins of LA was number 3 with 135 yards total, which is pretty good. Obviously, could have done a little bit better, but had one big run, and that's pretty much why he was up there. And he did pretty well in week 2, but I'll get into that towards the end of the video. But yeah, overall, pretty good. Nice week 1 when it comes to stats overall for this team on both offense and defense, and looking for a better result in week 2. And when it came to that CBS Sports mock draft the other day when I talked about Miller Moss of USC going number 3 to the Giants, it looks like for the Chargers, I think they had him picking around 17, which I guess is okay. And once again, the middle of the pack as usual in the first round and the rest of the rounds. But they said they have them selecting a wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka, from Ohio State, which he's really good. He's kind of like in that Chris Olave mold that came out of there, who's playing with the Saints. So he's a pretty good, solid guy to go in the first round. But I don't know, kind of thinking there were some better guys at more needed positions, like the interior defensive line, where it was a Mason Graham out of Michigan. So obviously, Harbaugh knew him and coached him and recruited him. So he's definitely one of the top guys out there on that defensive line in next year's draft. And then also the tight end, Colston Loveland, was considered one of the best tight ends this year in college football, and he went a couple spots right after that. I think he's dealing with an injury at this moment, so he's probably not even going to be 100% for the USC game coming up this weekend, but still very talented, still a really good offensive weapon, and still a really good blocker as well, because he has to be playing for Michigan with that run game. So I could see him getting selected in the first round by the Chargers over that wide receiver Egbuka. And the Chargers were able to defeat the Carolina Panthers on the road this last weekend, 26-3. So defense definitely stepped up. The offense, I think, could have had a couple better scores and touchdowns here, just like in week 1, but they're still able to do their job. Even Justin Herbert, he's having like Jimmy Garoppolo numbers. So like I read someone once said on Twitter this past weekend, where it's like he's not even throwing for over 200 yards, I don't think, and they're running the ball well and still winning. So I guess that's all that matters. But he did have a couple touchdown throws, I think, to Quentin Johnston, the second-year wide receiver who stepped up in this game. So that was cool to see. But J.K. Dobbins, that's why I said I think he's even higher than ranked number 3 in total rushing yards, because this is the second time in the past consecutive weeks that he went over 130-plus rushing yards, which is the first time since like 2007, since LaDainian Tomlinson had done it, which is really awesome. So yeah, they definitely got one of the better, under the radar signings at running back, because everybody kind of wrote him off because I think it was hurt his Achilles or his ACL early last year and had a tough way back, but it's looking pretty good and still pretty fast and rushing for quite a bit of yards as well. So I'm not mad about that. But yeah, speaking of other players doing well during this game, I think it was PFF had like the two of their top-rated offensive tackles for both Joe Alt, the rookie, and Rashawn Slater for the Chargers. So that was great to see. And then the defense, as I mentioned, stepped up well. They were first in EPA, whatever the heck that means. Also first in total points allowed and success rate allowed. Also number 1 in opponent red zone plays, and the number 1 PFF defensive grade as well. So that's just in the first couple of weeks. Obviously, not facing the hardest of teams in the Raiders and Carolina, but they do get a tough test this week in week 3 against the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road again. So they're actually doing something different. They're actually staying out there in Carolina, I think, or and then going to go practice at one of those colleges out there throughout the week and still get used to that Eastern time zone, that time period, and then also be able to play, because I think they have an early game too this next Sunday, like that 10 o'clock window here on the West Coast. So might as well just stay out there, get used to that time zone, and then come back. And everybody was all for it, including the players and stuff. So yeah, they're gonna hang out, hopefully get another victory, because Pittsburgh has pretty much been winning these first couple of weeks without really scoring a touchdown. I don't think they might have scored one, maybe two in their first two games, just a lot of field goals, and they still are undefeated too. So nice matchup of 2-0 teams going at it in week 3, and hopefully the Chargers come out with a victory. Thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.